Hello, hello. Do you like ArtFight? Also do I. But before I get into my experience with it, you may be wondering, what is ArtFight? Well, ArtFight is an annual art trading game that takes place every July, where you draw art of other people's original characters, otherwise known as OCs, and they can draw yours back. Draw is kind of a misnomer here because you can actually create pretty much any type of visual art attack, including but not limited to traditional art, crochet, cosplay, and 3D modeling. There's also a bunch of silly terminology used on the site that adds to the ambience of the event. Art you draw for others are called attacks, and art others draw for you are called defenses. Also, if someone attacks you and you attack back, that's called a revenge. There are also two teams each year. The teams don't actually mean anything, but they are just there for the general vibes of the event, and some people theme their profile art around them. This year's teams are Seacombe and Stardust. In addition to the teams, there's a cool point and attack categorization system that is basically just based on how much effort is put into a particular art piece. For example, a quick sketch would get less points than a full body scene. Additionally, points are also based on whether or not you're attacking someone of the opposite team. You get a lot more points for attacking the other team, but people still attack the same team, which is called friendly fire. Some people choose to scrap for points and only attack the other team, but most people I've seen opt to attack whoever regardless of teams, based on the designs they like. Alright, so now that you know what ArtFight is, I'm going to talk about my experience in ArtFight last year. So last year was my first year of ArtFight, and you may be wondering, hey Kai, everyone else who makes ArtFight vids has been doing it for like 4 years, so why are you qualified to make a vid on it? And well, I had such a fun time thinking about last year that I felt I needed to rant about it to like my 2 active subscribers, so yeah. Anyway, from my limited ArtFight experience, the things that surprised me most were 1, how much it allows experimentation in my style, and 2, the general ambience and culture of the site. Experimentation-wise, I tried to play around with as many different types of styles and such as possible, which is something that I normally don't do with my art. At the beginning, I stuck to my comfort style of very clean line art, dramatic shading, and minimal backgrounds. But as I went on, I experimented with using different line art brushes and kind of playing around with backgrounds and also developing a digital painting style, which is really fun to do. My mindset during the event was basically just to draw whatever I want whenever I want, which is something that I theoretically could do anytime, but ArtFight just really allowed me to do that. I think something about how the purpose of ArtFight is to draw other people's OCs, and the knowledge that even if you do something that you never normally would do, and it turns out badly in your eyes, it's sort of like the drawings that should be on screen right now, the recipient will still be happy with the result, and I found that really freeing. Also, ambience-wise, I really liked how the site seemed to take away most of the normal social barriers of art communities, like how you typically need an existing platform to get attention, and how in certain art communities one artist's art is valued over another just because they're more popular. Don't get me wrong, popular artists from other sides always get their fair share of attacks in ArtFight, but the general feeling of having an existing ranking of a sort of different artists is way less there, at least in my experience. It was also really fun to see how people value cool character designs a lot more than how quote-unquote good someone's art is. All in all, I just don't really feel like ArtFight is as toxic as a lot of other art communities, but that could just be the little nook of it I was in last year. So going into ArtFight this year, I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to the event all year, and like, look at all the cool art I got last year. How could I not be? It was honestly the most fun I've ever had at like any art social media type thing, and even just the most fun I've had drawing in a long while. So, regarding this year, I might have gone a bit overboard with like attack prep, but like the spreadsheet was fun. I don't know. Also, unlike last year, I actually started prepping for ArtFight like not the week before. Wow. Well, it's like the week before now, but when I prepped, it was not, which is crazy. Last year, I started just posted the existing flat full bodies and like badly glued together refs of my characters and called it a day. But this year, there were some characters that I really wanted to redesign, so ArtFight was the perfect excuse. I still have 2 left to finish before the event starts, but so yeah. Now I'm just going to be talking about the redesign process of before characters are ready for ArtFight, and maybe going on a few tangents about how much I love the site. Who knows? Alright, so the first character I redesigned is Thimble. Thimble is a little shadowy cat-like creature who I originally drew as a one-off, but really liked the design of, so I made it one of my OCs. Yeah. Okay, so my main goals for this redesign were that I liked the Antho version of the original, like, 3 versions of the design I drew, but I didn't really like the clothing, so I wanted to fix that. And I also really wanted to keep the kind of void eyes and overall, like, vibe and color palette intact, so yeah. For the redesign, I drew the first design as like as close to the canon design as possible to just see how it was. And then I drew the second design with just a bunch of random ideas. I was like, oh, I want the clothing to be more cloaky, to feel like it's hiding something or something. I don't know. I was just trying to like play around with it. And also like part of Thimble's lore is that it kind of makes up part of my Sona character, Kai, kinda or something. So I still wanted it to be true to that. But yeah. And in my third iteration, I was like, okay, I like the first one, I like the second one, but I kind of got rid of the bow tie in the second one, and I was like, I love that bow tie. It needs the cute little bow tie. So I tried to add all of that back, mix it all together, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the overall design. So the second character I redesigned is Quinlan. They're a cool guy who I originally did in class and just loved the design to bits. But now, kind of looking back at the original design, it needed a lot of help. So my main goals going into redesigning were to one, fix the clothing, and two, keep the like silly vibes that I fell in love with when I first doodled them. So yeah, in the first doodle, same as Thimble, I kind of just like tried to draw out the original design as closely as I could to just distill its main traits and what I liked about it. And in the second design, I downloaded a bunch of clothing refs from Google, and then on a long trade ride, just went crazy, kind of figuring out the design. And yeah, I'm actually really happy with it, and I'm glad they turned out well. Alright, so next I designed Piper. She is a design based off of the song Pacific by Chase Pestra that I got from a design trade with Ellowing. Ellowing is really, really cool. Please go check her out. The original design was amazing. And also, I think she's doing ArtFight this year, so go follow. Anyway, going into the redesign, I was just like, this character needs lore. So I really wanted to make a design for her in my style to try to make some world building for her. To start off, I made a very extensive Pinterest board with a bunch of cool clothing and accessory stuff to chew on. And after that, I kind of looked at the original design and I was like, the main thing I love about this design are the Ace of Spades symbolism and the hair ombre and kind of the just like how everything goes together and like the color palette a lot. Yeah, and how much it references the song. So yeah, as with the other designs, I started with a doodle of the original design to like get the general vibes of it in my head, and then after that, for the redesign, I kind of stared at a Pinterest board at the Pinterest board I made for an unholy amount of time, and added a bunch of stuff from there while still trying to maintain the essence of the original design. The main things I changed in the redesign were kind of moving the spade symbolism around from the shirt and the necklace to the collar, so it's still like in that portion of the body, but kind of subtler, I guess. And I also wanted to add a sweater vest to the design because sweater vests. After that, I mainly focused on trying to make the wings close to the actual blue jay wings, and yeah, the redesign was finished. After looking at the redesign for an unholy amount of time, I was like, hey, Piper looks like she'd exist in the same story as Quinlan. So now she does. And they're besties and I love them. So yeah, there's Piper's redesign. Okay, so last but not least, I redesigned Skye. Skye was the original mascot for this channel, and she still has a place in my heart. So it was actually really tough to redesign this one. My main goals going into the redesign were to keep the vibes of the original design because, like, I just really liked the original design, and I just wanted to kind of keep that feeling of younger me when I designed her. So yeah. And my other goal was to kind of sway it in a more angel core direction because that was the vibe I was getting from the original design. So to start off, I drew the original design like all of the other ones and just wanted to see what it looked like in my current style. After that, I just played around with a bunch of stuff, doodling a bunch of random things, and most of them, to me, like they swayed too much from the original design, so I wasn't happy with them at all. After that, I kind of just went to see like what sort of silhouette do I want to change this to because I'm like, silhouettes are a cool thing in art. Why don't I just try to see what I wanted that? But the silhouette was still too spiky. So I don't know. The main difference is that like different traits I were trying to add were to change the horn shape and also to like add ear and leg wings because those were cool. But I realized they just made everything spiky. So there was no end at making this nice soft like round design spiky. That's just what ended up happening. So yeah. By the end, I was just fed up with it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna draw the original with better wing anatomy and colors and call it a day. And I also decided to make her like a little gremlin. So I drew some gremlin art of her. But yeah, by the end of the day I was just like, you know what, I like the original design enough. Why don't I just make it fluffier, make the wings nicer, and make her a little gremlin? So I did that. Yeah, that's that design. So yeah, I guess that's all the redesigns. I'm not sure how to do these voice recorded vids, so yeah. Uh ArtFight is gonna be really fun and I'm really excited for it. Go follow me. Yes, yes, I will shamelessly shill. It's getting pretty late, so I might just end it here. But yeah, this video is like It's really different than my normal vids. I haven't really done anything like this before, so if you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's because QSMP ended and I like have nothing to do really, like channel wise, because I don't really know what to do, and I'm like, why don't I just do a bunch of voiceover stuff? But I'm probably really bad at it, so yeah, tell me in the comments how bad this video is. Bye.